All right, we are starting chapter 8.3, surface area of pyramids. The other one was prisms. These are pyramids. You can follow along on page 370, and you can use calculators in this section. The first thing you need to know is what a square pyramid is. A square pyramid has a square at the base, on the bottom, and all the sides are triangles coming up to a point. So it's going to have one square or rectangle and 4 triangles. So when you're finding surface area, remember you're adding all of the areas together to find the surface area. So for these ones, you're going to have 5 areas that you have to add together. Here's a net of a pyramid, of a square pyramid. There's a square in the base. That's your base. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles that come out. If you folded that up, it would come to a point at the top. Remember, surface area is adding all of the sides together. So if you were looking at this one, this is 5 centimeters. Because it's square on the bottom, you should assume that it's a 5 by 5. So all the sides are the same on the bottom. So you have a 5 centimeter times 5 centimeter, that's going to be your square. Look at the shapes over here. I have 1 square and 4 triangles. Now all the triangles will be the same on this one because it's a square at the bottom. So here's your height. Remember that finding the area of a triangle is going to be base times height divided by 2. So we have 5 times 3 divided by 2, and I have 4 different triangles for that. So if you figure out these areas and you add them all together, you're going to get 55 centimeters squared. Now this is super important. Remember that the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. All triangles, you are dividing by 2. Many students forget to divide by 2. So let's look at another example. This one has a 6 by 6 square on the bottom, and the triangles are going to be 6 times 5 divided by 2. So start with my square, and then I have 4 triangles. 6 times 6 will be my square, 36, and then here I have 6 times 5, which is the height, divided by 2, which is what the formula says, and I get 15 for each additional triangle. If you add all those together, which you can use a calculator, you should get 96 inches squared. So I want you to try one now. I've shown you 2 examples. I've given you the shapes. So see if you can figure out the surface area for this. Go ahead and pause the video because I'm going to go through this in just a minute. Go ahead and try it out. Okay, so hopefully you were able to try this one out. Let's see how you did. So for your square on the bottom, you should have got a 4 times 4 is 16, and then each of your triangles on the side are going to be 4 times 3 divided by 2. If you add all these together, you should have got 40 centimeters squared. Hopefully you got that right. Thumbs up. Now I want to talk about triangular pyramids. The other one was a square pyramid. This one is a triangular pyramid. So you're going to have a base triangle. And then now, because a triangle only has 3 sides to it, you're only going to have 3 triangles that come out from the side, and then those would all fold up to a point. So here's a net of a triangular pyramid. You're only going to have 4 areas to add together for these. So let's just look at an example. On this one, the base here is a 6 by 5.2. So that's a triangle. I have to do 6 times 5.2 divided by 2. So I would get 31.2 divided by 2 is 15.6 for this one. My side triangles are 6 by 6 triangles. So 6 for the base and then 6 for the height. So here I would have 6 times 6 divided by 2, 6 times 6 divided by 2, 6 times 6 divided by 2. So I get 18 for each of those. If you add 15.6, 18, 18, and 18, you should get 85.2 feet squared. Now I want you to try one. So take a look at this. Here's your base on the bottom, your base triangle. See if you can figure out what dimensions you would use for the base triangle. And then you're going to have 3 side triangles, and figure out if you can see which ones you would use for the side triangles. Now remember, you're only going to have 4 areas that you're adding together, the base and then the 3 side triangles. So go ahead and pause the video at this point, and then I'm going to go through the answer once you figure it out. Okay, so the base would be 5 times 4 divided by 2. It's 20 divided by 2, which is 10. And then your side ones are going to be 5 times 10 divided by 2, which are each going to be 25. If you add all those together, you should get 85 inches squared. Hopefully you were able to get that one. So I always like to write these down. So remember, if it's a square pyramid, you're going to have a square and 4 triangles. And if it's a triangular pyramid, you're going to have a base triangle and 3 other triangles. All triangles must use the formula base times height divided by 2. Make sure you have that in your notes. Okay, for this section, you're going to do textbook page 372, 3 through 12, or you can go to bigideasmath.com and do the chapter 8.3 practice there. Remember, you can use calculators. You are going to need to use your notes, so use your notes.